So in this video, we're going to work out if it's possible to clean our commercial gym with a robot, trying to make our lives a bit easier. Here we go. So for the last couple of years, we've pretty much used this Shark vacuum cleaner, this Shark steamer, to clean the floor in here. So we're about 50 square meters. They do a decent job, but it's obviously quite manual, takes a bit of time. It's domestic equipment. And we've been through a few of these. We've had a few head changes on these. And when we've looked at big commercial machines, so there's obviously Karcher and the likes of that do big gym flooring, pressure wash, all-in-one type machines, but they're designed for spaces much bigger than this. So those machines like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 pounds could do this flooring 10 times over in no time at all. But having something that big, A, we don't have anywhere to put it, and B, it's mad spending that much money on something for a floor this small. So we've been stuck with this equipment to date. But with the twins arriving, we're kind of looking for ways to make our lives a little bit easier. This Eufy X10 Pro Omni, we've paid for it, it's not an ad or anything, is meant to be good. So it does vacuuming, like the most vacuum power of any robot hoover supposedly. And it also has a steaming function, which does 1 kilo of pressure. I'm a little bit skeptical about how good a job that can do, but 99% of the cleaning in here is picking up little bits of fluff and mud and dirt, which have come off people's shoes on the way in. The odd bit of bird poo comes down from the ceiling, things like that, which are quite light and easy to pick up. So I think this can probably do a decent job, but there's only one way to find out. Let's get it out and see how it goes. There we go, got a base unit which empties everything out. Vacuumy thing with its mop pads on, a base bit. There we go, right. Let's try and turn it all on. Just started setting up the app. So far so good. A load of voice controls coming out of here, which is pretty cool. Right, so it's just been round, mapped out the room, showing up in the app, took itself home, no trouble. I've now hit start clean, hoover and mop, medium power. See what happens. I'm back. This is nearly 4 months later now. Slightly strange way of doing this video, but I guess it means we had a proper test of this bit of kit. What's the verdict? I'll tell you what, it's done a pretty good job. So we got this to stop us having to do the hoovering every night at 10 o'clock. So our class is finished sort of 8, 9 o'clock, and then I'll start again 6 in the morning. And instead of having to hoover myself at 10 o'clock at night or whatever, or Emily, this has been doing the job too. So basically every night at 10 o'clock it comes out and does a hoover. It goes both ways across the floor, which looks like this in the app, which is quite a nice way of showing it, like sort of GPS style track. And then at 3 in the morning, it goes back. It takes about 40 minutes to do that double hoover, and then goes back, recharges at 3 a.m. It comes out and does like what's called a heavy mop, as heavy as it can do with this. So it does a mop and vac at 3 a.m. Takes itself back home. I'd say 80% of the time it goes out, does its job, goes back home, and it's absolutely fine. There are times where it gets stuck, and that obviously can be a little bit annoying. It's usually because obviously there's lots of bits of kit on the gym floor which move from the sled, the bikes, the benches, the boxes, and whatever. And sometimes they just get left in a place which makes it hard for the vacuum, the robot to get home. People kind of know this, but you don't really, it's quite easy to leave things in slightly the wrong place or at slightly the wrong angle, which means that it could get stuck 5 minutes into its 10 o'clock hoovering cycle, or it could get stuck 5 minutes from the end of its 3 a.m. Mopping cycle. But it's not the end of the world. It usually means, even on those days, at least something gets done. It has not replaced our cleaner, so she still comes in 3 or 4 times a week, does a full deep clean during the day when there's gaps between classes. I don't think it'll ever get to that stage, but in terms of saving us a job, so it probably saves us a couple hours a week at least of just hoovering and mopping the floor. For that job, it's amazing. It's actually pretty good value, I think, for 500-600 quid, whatever it was. One thing that's worth bearing in mind, so in the app, it keeps track of this and it will tell you, but there's lots of parts of these which need to be changed over time, every 100 hours, 500 hours, 1,000 hours, whatever it might be. Things like the brush guard, the rollers, the side brush, sensors, and a few other bits. The app's very good at telling you this, but it'd be nice to not have to go and manually buy them each time. I'd happily pay a subscription if this was an option, like £10-15 a month, just to get sent the bits in the post just before they need replacing. That would be a nice little touch, as opposed to going onto the store. And actually, annoyingly, there's a couple of bits which we needed have been actually out of stock. So it tells you need to buy it. You click buy, out of stock in the UK. So then been on Amazon and got third-party options, which obviously not the end of the world, but be nice not to have to worry about it. The other thing, so we've got 2 types of floor in here. We've got the rubber mats and we've got the track, which is like a sort of dense astro sort of finish. It's quite velcro-y. You can set in the app no mop zones, which we do, which means it turns the mops off when it goes down here, because they just get stuck like velcro to that and can't spin. Easy to do. So if you've got different types of flooring, you might need to turn the mopping on and off in different areas, but the app is actually really nice, really simple in the way it works. You can set no-go areas, no mop areas, and a few other bits, which is like really easy, quick to do, so no problems there. Just to show you, this is kind of how it works with us. So when it comes out of the house, it'll go out, do a little lap around the outside, get its bearings. It obviously knows the shape of the room because it's mapped it out originally, but I think it's just going out to check for any new obstructions, whatever. And then once it's done a full lap, it'll start going up and down in very ordered manner. It takes itself back to recharge, empty the dust bag as and when it needs to, then back up and down, up and down, up and down, etc., which is really nice. So it means that you get the whole floor covered. It's not that random pattern you get with some robots where it's bouncing around all over the place. And that's on the track bit, which I mentioned, so we have it turned off for mopping. Do we recommend it? Yeah, I think if you've got a gym, smallish space like this, it's a brilliant thing to do. It will save you a bit of time. There's a little bit of admin in terms of like picking it up when it gets stuck, moving stuff out of the way, making sure the floor's clear. You do have to change the water every now and again. About once a week, we have to fill that up and empty the dirty water. But all in all, yeah, it's done a really nice job. Keeps our floor clean, saves us time, gives us more time to spend with the twins, more time in bed, all that important stuff. So I think we recommend it. Stay tuned for the next one.